Yeah, because I tweeted you the other day. Wait, it's Luke Robinson 9, isn't it? Got it, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome onto the pitch our two academy teams, England and Australia?
Good afternoon, welcome to the Leigh Sports Village for the first test between England and Australia here on the Hour League at Matt Horton alongside the Yorkshire Academy coach Luke Robinson here this afternoon. We are going to have the national anthems very shortly. We will be pausing for them, but quickly, Robbo, looking forward to it this afternoon?
Yeah, extremely looking forward to it. You know, I had the opportunity to coach Yorkshire not long ago, a few weeks ago. We nearly got the win over them. So fingers crossed, England can go one better today.
For the national anthems.
So we'll just run through the lineups after the national anthem, starting with Australia, who have Tessie New at fullback, Stephen Crichton, Bradman Best, Star Tour and Zach Seeney on the wing, Jock Madden the captain at half-back alongside Tom Dearden. Up front, Ratu Nanovo, Ryan Gray, Jaden Tanner, Juwan Compay, Matt Dragosic and Jalal Bazaz. On the bench, Tommy Talau, Timana Alexander, Benny Teuper and Franklin Pele. England have Jack Welsby at fullback, Innes Senior, Cameron Scott, Harry Newman and Lewis Senior on the wing, Callum McLelland and Harry Smith at half-back. Up front, Oliver Wilson, Corey Johnson, Ethan Havard, Sam Walters, James McDonnell and Morgan Smithies locks the scrum in 13. On the bench, Mustapha, Joe Shorrocks, Tom Holroyd and Owen Trout. Marcus Griffiths is our referee this afternoon. It will be Australia to get us underway, playing from right to left as we bid all our viewers in New South Wales a very good morning. 1 o'clock in the morning in New South Wales, and it's just turning midnight in Queensland. If you've stayed up to join us on the Hour League app, you're more than welcome here to Leigh this afternoon, where it's overcast. The rain has thankfully stopped. I had a pleasant drive over. I don't know about you. It was awful, wasn't it?
It was awful, yeah. Now, they've gone for a short kick-off of the Aussies.
And they've got it back with Stephen Crichton, and England have been caught short there.
That's a bit of a coach killer. Obviously, you don't want to give possession away so early in such an important game, but really good enterprising play from the Aussies.
As Ryan Gray, he's one to watch this afternoon, comes to the left to Dearden, drops it off to Juwan Compay. And England defending early in this game as Gray waits at dummy half. To the right to Dearden. Here's Madden. Madden goes short, look forward to Dragosic. And Dragosic is held 12 out. Just to the right of the post as Gray at dummy half. To the left to Bazaz. Here is Dearden again. Double pump from Dearden. Looks to stop and go again, and he's wrapped up. Good hit on Tom Dearden that time. Last tackle, says our referee Griffiths, as Gray at dummy half. Goes to the right to Madden. Crossfield kick from Madden. It's a jump ball, and it's Innis Senior who comes down with that, and England have had to turn up and defend that first set.
Yeah, really good defence there from the England outfit. They withheld Australia really well. Looked comfortable in defence. Probably not a great ploy by the Australians. Kicking to Innis and Louis, my Huddersfield kids. They're about 6'5", and their arms are as long as my whole body. So the Australian coach will probably get a message down. Let's put the ball on the floor, not in the air, to those boys.
Morgan Smithies is carried back by Dragosic, and Star Tour as England look to that left-hand side as Corey Johnson from Leeds in at dummy half. We'll come to this right-hand side. Here is Ethan Havard from Wigan, and it's last tackle. Big tens from Marcus Griffiths, the referee, as they'll go to the left-hand side to Harry Smith, and Smith has been taken late. Oohs and ahs from the crowd, and it's drawn the first penalty of the afternoon. And I didn't see it. I followed the ball, to be honest.
No, it was. I think the Australian player, I think, who committed to McLelland. He's got a lovely left foot, really good out, with ball in hand, and he struck the ball extremely well.
Would you roll or take the points on offer?
Oh, I'm a big points man.
It's a test match, isn't it, really,
I'm
at the end of the day?
I'm a big points man. I'd go for 2 personally, but they decided to go for the tap.
With Oliver Wilson from Bradford, and he's held 10 out, and he's lost it. Penalty, ball stolen, 2-on-1. And Marcus Griffiths having none of it, and he's going to have a word with Jock Madden already.
Yeah, I'm from the Wayne Bennett mould. I like to take points. I think not only do you get up on the scoreboard, but psychologically puts you in a better position mentally. But they're going to go for the tap again.
It's going to be Havard this time with the carry. 6 away from the line. Ryan Gray's trapped, to be fair, as Johnson at dummy half. Goes to the left to Smith. Here is Welsby into the line, and Welsby with the offload, and it's been intercepted by Star Tour, and the chance has gone.
Fabulous player is Jack Welsby. He's a St Helens product. They've got really big raps on. They expect him, to go into the first team very soon, but he just was very impatient and tried to offload the ball when it were never on.
Here is Jalal Bazaz. That is the name of the touring party for me. Jalal Bazaz. You'll remember that one, won't you?
It's an amazing name, yes it is.
Jaden Tanner gets it away to Ratu Nanovo. And the 15 short of halfway is Ryan Gray at dummy half. To the left to Deard, and here's Bradman Best. Big things of him expected in the Hunter, as Best has gone into touch. Great D from England down this right-hand side. Cameron Scott and Lewis Senior getting Bradman Best off the island, and there was some intensity in the England line speed there.
Yeah, brilliant. Look, obviously Jack Welsby give the ball away very cheaply, but England have just showed real grit and determination there. Probably Bradman Best, big things are expected of him out. Our Aussie contingent over at Huddersfield talk very highly of him, but he's probably not used to playing in these conditions. Don't go too near the sideline, England, in November, December time, or you'll go over the sideline.
Whoever said we were a summer sport? As England then with ball in hand, and it's James McDonnell who gets 8 short of halfway. He's knocked on. Just guilty of probably trying to play it too quickly.
Yeah, look, whoever normally in Test match rugby, whoever controls the ball, whoever controls the ruck speed, and you just try to put you right where you're at. You try to play the ball too quickly. It's greasy, it's a little bit wet. Today's a day for not going down sidelines. It's probably taking an extra half a second before you play the ball. And do you know what? Test rugby is about complete resets, getting to the end and building pressure. And neither side are doing that at this moment in time. And
at least the rain has stopped. It was quite torrential when I landed in Leigh about an hour before kick-off. So Australia will start 8 inside the England half. There's Gray from the base to Dearden. This is Juan Compain. As Gray waits at dummy half. To the right to Tanner. Whoa, big collision with Oliver Wilson there. As Gray waits again at dummy half. We'll go to the right to Bazaz. Set move on as Madden finds Tessie Niu into the line, and Niu dangerous from those situations. So Australia still on the attack. Here is Madden again. Gets it to Nanovo. And Nanovo's wrapped up, 15 out. Centre field, options left and right. Madden to the left, to the right. Dearden to the left. They're going to come to the left. Here is Dearden. Dearden will double pump and go, and he's only run into Callum McLelland, and he's going to be held up over the line. Good strength that from Tom Dearden. And it will be the last tackle. Get the feeling they won't be kicking anywhere near the senior boys this time. They're going to go across field. That one's in the in goal, needs a jump, and Harry Newman will field, and it will be a 20-metre restart and a chance to get on with it quickly.
Yeah, really good by Harry Newman. He's making a half break as well. Turn defence into attack. I just don't think it's a great ploy by the Aussies. Do you know what? I think in years gone by, the big difference they've found is when the Australian schoolboys have played England is the height differential on the outside backs. I think they worked out last time they're about 5-inch difference. At the moment with the twins, Harry Newman's not small. I don't think that's the gap's as big this time, if anything. So. And
to be fair, the back line for England, Cameron Scott's got plenty of Super League. The twins have played Super League. Harry's played a bit of Super League as well.
Yeah, we've got an extremely good back line. I think maybe that's where the sport turned into summer. We're starting to see the dividends of that. And
here's Callum McLelland, pops it up to Sam Walters. As Johnson waits at dummy half, tries the short side and McLelland, and here is Welsby into the line. As Johnson waits at dummy half, McLelland at first receiver. Here's Smithies, and Smithies is going to take the Australian defence on, and Jalal Bazad's needed 2 attempts to get hold. 18 out in centre field. Really slow again, the play of the ball as Johnson goes to the left to Smith. 10 out on the last tackle. Be tempted to go low rather than high. Greasy pitch. They'll come to the left with Smith. They're going to next a mixed match as Dearden gets it in the in goal, and it's going to force a goal line dropout. And there wasn't a high kick, it wasn't a low kick, but it's a good kick.
It's a good kick nonetheless, and a really good touch there by Smith. You know, Nathan Brown, my old coach, reckons that left footers have all got a better touch. Fortunately for England today, we've got a lot of left footers. McLelland's a left footer, Smith's a left footer, and I think Welsby's a left footer as well. So hopefully we get a few more of them repeat sets.
So welcome to Leigh. If you've just had the notification on your phone or on your watch, you've still 0-0 here on the Our League appers. Ethan Havard takes it back. That was the first goal line dropout of the game, and the 25 out as Johnson waits at dummy half, gets it to Oliver Wilson. And England, we would say, have had the better of this opening so far as Johnson waits at dummy half. To the right hand side to Smith. Here is McLelland. Welsby into the line, gets it to Cameron Scott. And Cameron Scott, he made his debut at Magic, didn't he? That's not a bad place, is it?
No, it's not a bad place at all to make his debut.
There's Welsby at dummy half to McLelland, drops it off to Havard. 5 out. Big chance for England as Johnson at dummy half goes to the left to Smith. Here's Welsby into the line. Double pump from Welsby, and Madden just as well to hang on. As Newman at dummy half. Newman's over and Newman's in. And England have scored. First try of the game. Little bit of afters afterwards, but Marcus Griffiths is going to point to the spot. And England have scored. And it's as simple as it gets at the end of the day.
Yeah, you know, as a former nine, you love them tries where it's half a metre out. You tell everyone it went 100 metres, but you're only half a metre out. Bit of a coach kill from the Aussies because you don't want to concede them type of tries. But what I did like is the set-up play originally. It was Smith, the Wigan halfback, drove into high play nice and square to the danger man of England, which was Welsby out the back, and he managed to get a quick play of the ball, which allowed the markers not to be set, which Harry Newman exploited and dived over.
Great start for England, 10 gone here. Their lead.
I think you're right as well. I think England have probably had the lion's share of possession and field position so far in this game, and they've looked pretty good. And when Australia have been on their line, they've looked quite comfortable in defence. So a very promising start by England.
Of course, back in the day, you played in this series back in 2002, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And
We were waxing lyrical about it at the Lancashire game last week. More about the fighting at Headingley, but rather than the actual performances on the field.
To be fair, we had a very intimidating pack at the time. There were Wilkin, Jamie Langley, Gazop, Ryan Bailey,
Dwayne Barker.
We had a pretty fearsome. I obviously wasn't involved in the fighting, but I was just out of the brains of the operation. But yeah, the fight were pretty good as well as the game.
As the extras added on here, a great start for England.
And converted by number 7.
Harry Smith adding on the extras there for England. I think they'll be more alert at this kick-off, don't you?
I think they will be. If not, I think Dave Elliott, the England coach, will be sending a message out to the two front lads, the hooker and the loose forward Smithies, to get ready.
Newman fields the kick-off. Of course, Jamie Langley in the England coaching setup for this series as well, alongside James Ford. With your Yorkshire role, have you had any input into Dave?
Yeah, I have really. It's been quite a bit of a club mentality this year, where they've been inviting myself and Ian Talbot, who St Helens, the Lancashire coach. We've pretty much been going along to nearly every England session that's been held on a Wednesday at Odsall, so we've managed to play its part, and it's been good.
So England in possession then, as Johnson at dummy half goes that left hand side to Ethan Havard. It's Johnson at dummy half again. Smithies gets it out to McDonnell. And England have crucially completed the set after the kick. As Smith again on the left boot goes high. This one's going to bounce, and Tessie Neal is going to let it bounce, and it's going to sit in the in goal. How good's the chase? It's not bad, you know. And it's James McDonnell leaving the way, and Tessie Neal guilty of letting that ball bounce, and it's a second goal line dropout.
Yeah, it's the old adage, you never let a rugby ball bounce. Extremely good set there on the back of a try. You know what normally happens, especially with young kids, is their emotions are running high. There's normally an error after you score points, but really disciplined approach by England, using the forwards, going down the middle. But Harry Smith, the Wigan halfbacks, started the game extremely well. His kicking game's been good.
As New with the restart, Smith will field, and it's going to be Ethan Havard on the charge, and he'll be put to ground. Well, Willie Compain's missed again, and he's not for going down, is he?
He's a strong kid.
Still not gone to ground, as Johnson at dummy half gets chance to jump. Newman at dummy half. Oh, it's been dropped by Oliver Wilson, and the chance is gone.
Yeah, unfortunately, Corey Johnson had basically took the ball at Havard, who's extremely strong. He's a Wigan forward who was pretty much bullied by Huddersfield Pack at the back end of the year. Unfortunately for me, he's a really strong character. He's hard to put down, and Corey Johnson's running on the back of him. When he ran, though, Newman went in. It was not a normal dummy half passer of the ball, and it was behind Ollie Wilson. An awful pass, and just relieved the pressure there for Australia.
England just getting the defence sorted out. Cameron Scott pushed back out into the centre. A couple of the second rowers are lurking in the defensive line there.
Why a centre going to the scrum from the opposite side? I never know. I think he'd had a bit of a brain explosion there.
Here's Bradman Best then, gets to the 30-metre line as Gray waits at dummy half, comes to this left-hand side, and Compain as Gray waits at dummy half. This is Jaden Tanner as the rain begins to fall at the Sports Village. As Gray at dummy half, to the left to Dearden. Here is Compain again. Good solid hit on Juan Compain. Callum McLelland and Sam Walters involved in that, and Compain's knocked it on, and McLelland just having a chat. And
yeah, it's cheeky half still. He's had a chat with the back row drop take.
Oh, hello. Out at the back, Harry Newman is having a bit of a discussion with Jock Madden.
The cheeky half, McLelland started the fight, then got himself out of there very quickly.
With the England hat on, obviously, I don't think this is a bad thing to get in the faces a little bit, because they haven't really, maybe apart from 20 minutes in that Yorkshire game, been rattled, these lot, yet.
Yeah, I totally agree. Look, we did it in 2002. Do you know what? He's kind of showing no fear when you get stuck into him, and probably showing a lot of frustration by the Aussies, because that little bit of the pat on the back from McLelland, really, they all react to it. Shows that they're getting frustrated, the Aussies. It shows a really good sign for England, really.
Don't forget, the second test is this Friday, 7:30 at Emerald Headingley. It is live on the Our League app. Dave Parkinson will be along for that one. Was going to be you, but club duties called, aren't they?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not the boss yet. So I've got to do what I'm told, and I've been told that we're going to now play against Batley on a Friday night. We've got a little bit of a pause session. Yeah, we had one with them today as well, so we've been doing that throughout the off season, because we're dual reg with them, and they've basically told me that that's what we're doing. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to be there instead.
That first grade or all grades?
No, I've been promoted this year, so I'm no longer with the under-19s. I'm with first grade now. So, like I say, if I were under-19s head coach, I could manipulate the session accordingly. But now I'm just assistant coach. I've got to do what I'm told.
So what Simon says goes. Pretty
much, yeah. What everyone says goes, yeah. I get to have the say on the attack, but everything else is it's up to him.
As James McDonnell takes it in. It's Johnson to Newman. Man in the middle of the ruck, and he's given a penalty against England. What's that for?
That is for interference in the play of the ball. So basically England again extremely frustrated. I think it's Newman.
I think he's just grabbed onto the marker.
Yeah, what's happened is, you know what, Australia was holding the England player down there.
Oh no, it's mouthing off.
Yeah, and then what happened, the Newman's then basically gone towards the referee and started shouting something. So I think Australia was holding down the England players, assumed they were going to get a penalty, and Harry Newman then went towards the referee.
Tackle time for England. We always say Australians aren't used to these conditions. Our lads won't be used to playing in this weather.
Probably not as much. I don't know. The English summers aren't exactly glorious.
Apart from this year.
Yeah, apart from this year.
There's an England man down. Just buying a little bit of time.
Yeah, a bit of gamesmanship there, would you say?
No, he looks injured.
Was there?
Yeah.
That were always my forte.
Joe Shorrocks is up.
It will always be ankle.
Goal line dropouts.
Goal line dropouts. I reckon I was the first one to start doing it. And the last few years it's become an absolute nightmare, because now I'm a coach, everyone else has twigged onto it. Everyone does it. It really frustrates me now. Whereas I think probably 6-7 years ago I was the only one who did it. No, you're right. He's injured, so he's having to go off.
It's James McDonnell who's going off, and it will be his club mate Joe Shorrocks in 15.
Yeah,
who gets out there?
You've got the perfect replacements, because you've got two back rows on the bench, which I thought was strange from England, with Trout and Shorrocks, but it's worked out quite well for him now.
Here's Dragicic for the Australian Schoolboys. There's Gray at dummy half. To the left to Madden. Keep an eye on Dearden, and Tanner's lost it. There's no free play today because we're under international rules, so
there's going to be no free play next year either, is there?
I believe so. That's not been confirmed yet. No,
I don't think it is.
At the start of things, I like the rule, but nothing ever comes of it, does it? You don't really see anything. People just tend to kick the ball downfield, and it slows the game down when we have to go all the way back to the other end of the pitch for the scrum. So
this really is a game now. In conditions like this, obviously I'll describe the conditions. It's torrential rain. There's going to be it's about controlling the ball. It's not who has the ball anymore. It's where the ball is on the field. So kick the ball early, try and force errors.
And it also opens up the 40-20, because it'll skid on the surface here at Leigh, because obviously it's been used quite a lot by Manchester United for football purposes at the moment as well. So it is pretty short, the grass, unlike at Cass last week, where it was really was like a jungle. So England ball here is Smith then with that kick. He's found plenty of grass behind Crichton and behind Near, and that needs to sit. What a kick. It's sat in the in goal, and Crichton collects one-handed. Flicks out the back, and he's knocked it on, and it's going to be a goal line dropout. And again, there's afters afterwards. 20 minutes gone.
I'll tell you what, Harry Smith, the Wigan half, he is controlling this game at the moment. His left boot, that is a wonderful kick. I'm not sure if he's in our earshot. We spoke about kicking the ball earlier, using the conditions to your advantage. You put the ball pin perfect into the corner of the field. Beautiful kick.
Given this weather, 6 points could be enough to win this game at the moment, as New with the goal line dropout. Senior fields, and Senior's going to let Oliver Wilson just set base. 32 out. Johnson at dummy half to Morgan Smithies. As Johnson at dummy half to the left to McLelland. Here is Smith, pops it up short for Shorrocks, and Shorrocks has spilled it on his first carry, and the chance has gone for England.
Yeah, a little bit naivety there from the England halves. And Harry Smith, I've just been praising, but you can't go to the line in these conditions. If you are going to go to the line, you need to play a little bit earlier, because obviously it's torrential rain. The ball's going to be hard to catch. It's going to be slippy. Give the ball a touch earlier. Let the forwards get it in their hands. Make them feel a bit more comfortable. So I'm sure that's the message from the England coaching staff.
Australia scrum on the 20 then. Here is Joan Compain. What a hit. Oh. Here's Best. Ten short of halfway as Gray waits at dummy half. Interestingly, Tony Adam hasn't gone with two hookers today. Max Altus had proved to be a perfect foil for Ryan Gray in these first 3 games, but he's going to try and get a full 80 out of Gray this afternoon. As that's nothing wrong with that. That was perfectly timed. Oh, that's bad, that.
The problem is he gave the first one to England, didn't he? That's one of them where the ref feels like he has to do the same thing. He took him off the ball after he kicked it. And just going back to your previous point, England have the same, haven't they? Only one hooker.
Yeah.
We'll see how that pans out as the game progresses.
And Australia are going to run as Gray gets us back underway. Here is Jaden Tanner. Still 6-0 if you're just joining us here on the Our League app.
Substitution for England, Holroyd, replacing number 8,
Tom Holroyd out there now, and it's been dropped by Ratu Nanovo, and chance has gone. Second tackle for Australia, and Tony Adam, the Australian coach, will be disappointed with that.
Yeah, very disappointed. They haven't had much field position. It's the first time they've been down there. England, on the other hand, have built pressure, they've forced dropouts. I don't think Australia have had one dropout yet, and this is what you need in these conditions. It is awful. For anybody,
you can probably hear the rain on the roof.
Yeah, it is
coming through the mics.
So let me tell you, this isn't going to be the only knock-on for the rest of the game. You've just got to take your time playing the ball. Like I say, play field position, kick the ball early.
That was Lewis Senior with that first carry on the back of the scrum. This is up the jumper, 4 tackles, and just give it to Harry Smith to get you a base down the other end, isn't it? Holroyd then. He was impressive last week at Castleford. As England have almost made it to halfway. Johnson at dummy half, gets the chance to jump, looks to get away from Dragosic but can't. High kick. High kick. Tester here then for Tessie Niu. And Niu's dropped it. Flat dropped it. Not under that much pressure. 5th Australian error of the half, and England have got airfield position.
Yeah, I think the message for Harry Smith again, great kick. In these conditions, this is just about playing patient, change of angles. Obviously, with it being so slippy now and wet, you want to challenge bigger blokes with change of direction, change of angle, and just basically grub with the ball and stay down here. England do not need to score this set. They just need to build pressure.
So England then will go from 10 out. Might be a chance to see one off the training park. McLelland's dropped that backwards. And then he has dropped it. Just didn't quite regather that ball, and Callum McLelland has come up with the error first time. And Is it worth mentioning Rhino balls and rain?
They're going back to Stevens, aren't they?
I hear a rumour, yeah, I've seen quite a few clubs training with Stevens.
Yeah, well, we're not one of them, so all of a sudden our performance manager decided to buy 2 himself the day just in case, because, I mean, this is rugby league, you know. Surely he'd let us know before the season starts, but there's a big rumour going around that might be happening, but it's not been clarified as yet.
As Gray at dummy half then goes, oh, Smith had come flying out of the line there. Nearly got Star Tour. There's Saxini, the Tour's leading try scorer so far. I think that's the first time he's touched the ball all afternoon. As Australia then looking to clear their own end. As Gray at dummy half goes to the left hand side. That's Talau who's out there now. As Gray at dummy half gets it back to Dearden, and Dearden's kick's going to be straight down the throat. That's Lewis Senior. How do you tell them apart, Robbo? Do you make them wear different boots?
They used to. When I first
they are today as well.
When I literally took over at first, whereas I can see it straight away now. Nobody else can spot it, but I can spot them as soon as I notice the way they walk, the way they run. Plus, Louis right-handed, left-footed, whereas Innes is left-handed, right-footed.
Easy to spot then. Unlike the Chapelhow twins who deliberately do everything to look the same.
Just
as Holroyd takes it in. You'll call one Jay and the other one will react. They're a right pair. As here is Mustapha out there now. He caused them all sorts of problems in Castleford last Wednesday night. As Johnson at dummy half goes to the left to Smith. Smith puts a high kick up. Tessie New dropped the last one. He doesn't fancy it. And Cini has to get there. Ball's come out and it's been ruled backwards, and they're going into the in goal, and it'll be a goal line dropout, and the third one England have forced so far in this first half.
Yeah, and that's been the difference. The difference is the Australians are not controlling the ball, but their end to their sets are just not good enough. Harry Smith, on the other hand, he's playing like he's a 30-year-old. He's really composed. He's coming up with the right kick in the right areas of the field. Another lovely kick and great chase by the England. By Innes Senior on that left wing, by Harry Newman, by Shorrocks. Really good that left edge.
And with Tessie Neal at full-back, after dropping that last one, it looks like the confidence is just drained out of him. You'd be kicking high at him all day now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. You'd just keep doing it over and over again for the remainder of this game.
It's going to be Mustapha to run this one back. He's lost that one. That's a good hit. Great hit from Star Tour. Gets the Australian fans, a few friends and family here have made the trip over to the old Dart, and that's 2 good tackles from Australia so far. As Johnson at dummy half. Here is Morgan Smithies, played at your old club at Siddle.
Yeah, they've got 2 Siddle lads. They've got Holroyd and Morgan Smithies, and I just realised Ollie Wilson, the props, also I think played at Greetland. He was a Halifax kid as well. So yeah, I'm wanting Morgan to do well, and Holroyd, with him being Siddle kids like myself.
Down this left to Smith. Here is Newman, prolific in the championship at Fev last year. Harry Newman. Last tackle. Like to see a jump off between Crichton and Senior down this side. They are with Smith too. Oh, it's hit the post. It's been picked up and it's been dropped, and it's gone dead. And I think it's going to be a 20-metre restart. He's past it now, so they can't go for a quick restart.
Do you know what a lovely kick? You could see it coming a mile off there. All the England attackers were flat, actually hit the post. I think it was Welsby, the fullback.
It was Smith who hit it and Welsby who couldn't bring it in.
It was just Welsby couldn't pick the ball up. Oh, the try line was begging as well.
As Niu goes from dummy half. Australia at halfway as Cini in off the wing. Gets 12 inside the England half. Gray at dummy half. To the right to Madden. Here is Niu into the line again, and Niu sticks the paw on Johnson, and ball's been stolen out. 3rd Australian penalty, and that's just levelled the penalty count up.
Yeah, and a very silly penalty, obviously. England now having to defend back-to-back. Well, when you make an error, what you want to do is you don't want to compound it by making another one. That's what England did there. So the first time actually they've had a little bit of sustained pressure from Aussies. Let's see how England come up.
10 left in this first half here at the Sports Village. 6-0 England lead. If you are just joining us on the Our League app, don't forget, Friday night at Emerald Headingley. Oh, Benny Hooper almost dropping that one. He's just got out there in 16 as Gray at dummy half to Dearden. Here is Jaden Tanner back on the inside, and big defensive set needed for England as Gray gets it to Dearden, out to Compayne, and Compayne gets it to Neo, and Neo to Dearden, gets it out for Tommy Talau, and Talau almost with the offload. 3 out, Gray at dummy half, Ryan Gray goes, and Ryan Gray has been successful there a couple of times on tour, but no, he's not on all day is Ryan Gray. And again, a little bit of afters. Just a little message from the England players.
Every time, I quite like it. Every time the Australians make an error, someone at England lads just gives them a little pat on the head and lets them know they've made an error. They were stripped on that left edge, though. Australia took chunks out of them, so they come from their left towards their right. They actually took chunks, and the England pack hadn't travelled to Newman and to Winnie Senior. And if they'd have actually got the play the ball there, I think the Australians would have fancied the chances, but England just managed to force the error within the tackle.
So, England with Senior. It's Lewis Senior, black boots. Innes has got the white boots on. Honest. As Welsby. This is the other senior boy. Perfect wet weather football from England so far, as Shorrocks gets 8 from halfway. Johnson at dummy half to Mustapha. Last tackle's got to go high, hasn't it? Straight in the direction of Niu. Catch that one. Horrible spiralling kick, and Tessie Niu safe under that one this time. I might get a bit of confidence back after catching that one.
Yeah, do you know what? The hardest of the kicks, it was a beautiful spiral kick by Harry. Perfect, just hit the ball, the perfect spot. It was floating all over. Really good take from the fullback.
Here's big Franklin Pele on now for Australia. If you want to see a bit of Franklin Pele, go on a well-known video sharing site and type his name in. There's 4 minutes of his highlights. He's a monster. As Gray at dummy half then goes to the right-hand side. Madden inside the 40, looking for a 40-20. It's gone down centre field though. Welsby will track this. He's going to have to play from the goal line, and how good's the chase? It's not too bad. It's Toa leading the way, and he's got away as Welsby. That's a great return.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Picked the ball up on his own in goal, managed to get to the 30-metre line.
That's a good fend.
It was a really good kick by Australia as well.
Good fend from Innes Senior on Ryan Gray as well, as England almost up to halfway already. Here is Lewis Senior. There's Johnson at dummy half. Here is Innes Senior again. The back's just giving the forwards a breather on this set so far, and they've got England 10 inside the Australian half. As Johnson waits at dummy half. Here is Mustapha. And Mustapha. Is it worth a drop goal at some point before half time?
I don't see why not. I mean, obviously they're a bit far out at this moment in time.
As Niu takes, oh, he's dropped it, and it's a try, and England have scored. Niu has dropped the ball again, and England have got a second try. 34 minutes on the clock. Not quite sure who's got it. I think it could be a second for Harry Newman. It's either him or Jack Welsby, I think. But Tessie Niu, we thought he'd got the confidence back, and obviously he hasn't.
Do you know how Australia, for all they keep telling me how good their outside backs are to ours? Unfortunately, the Australian outside backs have really struggled with that. With Harry Smith.
Harry Smith, the man on the spot.
It was a beautiful kick by Harry Smith once again. He's put pinpoint perfection. His kicks have been today. He's just really, they have been perfect, and a really good chase by the left edge. He managed to just crack the fullback as he caught the ball and forced the error. You were saying go for a drop goal. I think the
Four's better than one.
yes, it is.
And obviously, the drop goal was an option, but obviously with Tessie Niu being unable to catch a cold at the moment, it's worth bombing him, isn't it?
You know what, I'm with you. Like I said, I'm a big points man, especially in big games. And when he's in multiples of 6, I won't be the old Steve-O when he used to run it. When you're 4 in front and go for 1, but when you're 6 in front of you, I'd be inclined to agree with you, but the way Harry Newman's kicking at the moment, it's sublime, and he's building pressure with every kick.
So can Harry Smith convert his own try here at the Sports Village? Kicks on its way, and the flags are up here. You're watching on the Hour League app. Matt Horton and Luke Robinson at Leeds Sports Village. England lead by 12 points to 0 as we have around 5 minutes to half time.
Yeah, it's been, I think you said previous, it's been really good wet weather rugby by England. They just seem to be playing a little bit smarter than the Aussies. And the probably two main differences: one the kicking game from the Englishmen, and two the outside backs. The Australians have struggled, whereas our outside backs have been really good.
Crichton's kick-off taken by Welsby. Here is Holroyd to bring it back. Referee had whistle in mouth then and thought he was going to blow us. Louis Senior gets to the 30 as the rain starts to tip down again here in Leigh, as Mustapha met by Gray, as Talau gets involved as well, as Johnson at dummy half to the left hand side, and Morgan Smithies. As Smithies just gets inside the Australian half. They've put Sini to full back and put Niu on the wing of Australia. Good spot, Luke. Was Holroyd on the charge again. We'll kick it out to that wing now.
Yeah.
As Johnson at dummy half. They're going to come the short side to McLelland, and McLelland will go high. Tester for Crichton. Crichton fields and goes across field, and it's probably got the body position about right, and Australia will start 10 away from the line.
A good place once again, though. Not as good as Harry Smith. He probably need a little bit more height on that McLelland, but he put it a metre off Australia's own goal line, so it's still a good kick.
Here's Franklin Pele, and Franklin Pele's got the offload. Good job, Bradman Best was alert. Show you big Franklin's highlights at half time. As Gray at dummy half gets it to Dearden. Here is Tommy Talau, of course the son of Willie Talau, formerly of St Helens, as Gray at dummy half. Look forward to Dearden, but we'll play on and we'll get 5 short of halfway. As Gray waits at dummy half. He's going to kick. Not the best kick. I don't think everybody was on the same wavelength there, as Senior collects, and Senior looks to get away from Toa but can't, and England will start 15 short to halfway. And Australia just need to get a little bit more organised, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And I think there has been that disruption in the back. They've moved the winger to full-back. He's a very adaptable player. He was a player last week that, against my Yorkshire, started on the wing and actually
played at half-back, yeah.
So he's a bit of a utility player that can play all over, which is invaluable at times.
As Mustapha is 15 inside the Australian half. He's got tangled up with Ryan Gray there, as Smith goes high, kicks it back into centre field. How's Saxini going to go? And he goes well, and just collared and drops right on the goal line. What a place to turn the ball over.
Honestly, it's very Australian-esque is the way that the English sides are playing. They've just been really disciplined.
It's Crichton then will play it. Sini again. Pops into centre field as penalty. Tom Holroyd just a little too slow to clear out.
That's the case. Tom Holroyd's like a ball. He's a family friend from Halifax, but he doesn't play long minutes, and he's been injured this year, and that were a tired penalty for me.
We're into injury time. We've had a couple of stoppages, obviously, for some stupidity at breakdowns. Is that the nicest way of putting it? Oh, the hit. Oh, dear. That's a defensive win, isn't it?
Stopped and dropped.
Matt Dragosic, that.
Shorrocks that got his shoulder in.
Here's big Franklin Pele. Oh, he's a mountain. He really is.
Yes, he is.
It was Gray at dummy half. to the right to Dearden. Madden stops. Madden looks to go. It's good cover from Morgan Smithies. England need to hang on here in these closing moments of this first half as Dearden tries to go on his own, and England number up. Mustapha with the initial contact as Gray waits at dummy half. Talau out the back. Here is Franklin Pele. Oh, that looked forward to Juan Compain, and Compain is held just short of the line. Last tackle, can England survive? As Best at dummy half gets it back to Madden. Madden goes low, and that's going to have too much on, and it's going to be a 20-metre restart.
That's the difference. That is the difference in a nutshell there. England are building pressure. Australia just can't kick the ball as well as we can.
As Senior with the quick restart from the wrong line, but we'll let it go. As Newman at dummy half, he used the edge of the penalty box for the football markings. As Johnson at dummy half. Here is Senior. Louis, black boots. As Johnson at dummy half. Smith inside the 40, looking for the 40-20. Sini is across there. It's just not going to have the spin. How good's the chase? Harris, oh, what a hit from Harry Smith. And ball's come out, and forward pass has been given. And England need to pack this scrum quick, and they're going to get another go at the Australian line.
Quick, and this is where
Jack Welsby telling everybody to get in quick. Time off called.
I'm with you. Depending on how long's left, at 1 point would be a very, very valuable point to get at this moment in time in this weather condition. Harry Smith has not only controlled the game and kicked the ball well. I love little blokes that get stuck in. He has got stuck in and tried to rattle a couple of bigger blokes. Really love his effort and enthusiasm in this game.
So England, 18 out from this Australia line. Here is McLelland, and Callum McLelland runs into Star Toa. As Johnson at dummy half to the right to Sam Walters. We'll keep going, saying we want one. Last time we got forward to go the short side with Cameron Scott. Just short as Johnson waits at dummy half. Johnson to Holroyd. Scored last week for Yorkshire. Held just short now as Johnson waits at dummy half. Johnson spins, he's over the line. Can he get it down? No, he's pushed back into the field of play. Last tackle. Holroyd at dummy half. Gets it back to McLelland. McLelland just drops it onto the ground. Great kick. Too much on it? Yes. Zaxini watches it dead. Right idea. Just didn't have everybody on the same page.
No, Harry Smith were actually set up for a +2 kick. You could see him waiting for the ball. So all his runners were too deep. They were set off Harry Smith. I'd have gone for one. I'd have got in with a 13-0 lead.
Last tackle of the half, hands up from the referee, and that is it. Half time here at the Sports Village on the Hour League app. Great first half from England Academy. They lead by 12 points to 0. Harry Newman with the first try after 10 minutes, just a barge over from dummy half. Goal by Harry Smith, and then it was Smith who got the second after Tessie Niu dropped a high kick, followed up his own kick and touched the ball down. Goaled it himself. 12-0. Robbo, your thoughts on that first half?
Very, very, very impressed. You know, the Australians will be very frustrated, and they look frustrated in the half. But that's because of the way that England are playing. Take nothing away from England. England have just been really, really composed. Harry Smith, for me, has been sensational. He's controlled the game, put the ball in the right areas on the last tackle, been aggressive. The England forwards have done what they needed to do, and unfortunately for Australia, their outside backs, they look very, very wobbly.
So that's it. Half time here at the Sports Village. England lead by 12 points to 0. Stay with us. We'll be back with the second half in about 6 or 7 minutes' time.
Make some noise as we welcome back the England Academy.
And welcome back to the Leigh Sports Village here on the Hour League app. It's the first test between England Academy and the Australian Schoolboys. England 12 points to 0 up at half time with tries from Harry Newman and Harry Smith. Matt Horton alongside the Yorkshire Academy coach, Luke Robinson, here this afternoon. And Luke, what do you think the message has been from Dave Elliott, the England coach, to the England boys?
Keep doing what you're doing, because it's obviously working. You know, it's the outside backs have extremely done a good job of coming in and taking the heat off the middles. The middles are running hard with close support. I reckon a lot of the team talk around the conditions, about getting to your end of your sets, making sure that you're holding on to the ball. Defensively, a lot of talk about getting shoulder contact on the ball, forcing errors.
So, Jack Welsby will get us underway for this second half. It's deep. Is it too deep? No, it's fielded on the goal line by Dearden, and here is Franklin Pele with the first carry of the second half. If you were in Tony Adams' shoes, what would have been the message to the Australia boys?
Catch the ball. It's a very basic message sometimes from coaches, but do you know what? They just haven't built any pressure. You know, I take a leaf out of England's book. They've ground the sets out. They've had 3 or 4 goal line dropouts. Their outside backs have been, extremely efficient in everything they've been asked of them. So I'd probably just say finish the sets better.
As Toa just gets over halfway, as senior dummy half finds Madden. Here's Tommy Talau, playing a much more different role, Tommy Talau, today. As Gray at dummy half comes to the right hand side, Madden's going to go high. Tester here for Welsby, as Welsby comes, and Welsby takes easily with 7 Australian players around him. It's a good take, that.
Yeah, really good take. There were a lot of heat on him then, a lot of Australians in and around the ball. The Aussies will be happy where they turn the ball over. That's a better place for them, but great carry by Innes. He's got a great carry.
McLelland gets it to Sam Walters down that right hand side. England playing right to left in this second half, as McLelland again.
There's a big wind in England's face, you know. I think the Australians, that'll be a talk. They'll want to use this wind.
As Johnson at dummy half gets it to Mustapha, and Mustapha gets over halfway, and it's another good run from Mustapha, much like we saw at Castleford last Wednesday night on the last tackle, as Johnson at dummy half gets it to Harry Smith, and Smith goes high. Tester here for Senior. Here comes Senior, and Senior took the gamble and let it bounce, and it's gone into touch, and we'll pack a scrum in favour of the Australians. And they don't like going for this ball, do they?
No, they don't. But you know, on that occasion, the ball only bounced about half a metre from the scrum line, so I think he knew if he catches this ball, I think it was Innes on that occasion. Innes were getting ready to pounce and throw him straight over the sideline. So a calculated risk, but one that's come off for the Australians.
As we bid good morning to our viewers in Australia. It's just coming up to, I think it's 5 to 2 in the morning in Sydney, 5 to 1 in the morning on Queensland. And man gone down is Star Toa. Don't forget, the second test is this Friday from Emerald Headingley, 7:30 kickoff in the UK. That'll be 6:30 AM Saturday morning in Sydney, and a rather respectable 5:30 AM in Queensland if you are joining us down under. And if you have stayed up on the eastern seaboard in Australia tonight, thank you very much for joining us here on the Our League app this morning. Matt Horton and the Yorkshire Academy coach Luke Robinson here with you today. The starter was okay to go as Australia look to clear their own end, as Gray waits at dummy half as the wind has whipped up here inside the Sports Village, as Australia get to the 30 metre line, as Ryan Gray waits at dummy half. Here is Talau to Franklin Pele. Good hit on Franklin Pele. We had a look through the highlights at half time of Franklin Pele, did me and Robbo, as Benny Teupa gets it away to Tessie Niu to Madden. Madden does well to hang on, gets it back to Gray, and Gray can't collect, and this is a free play. Well, it's not a free play, it's advantage for England, and they'll get 5 short and a halfway with Jack Welsby, and just trying to push it a little bit now, Australia, aren't they?
Yeah, they are trying to push it. That's where they had success against my Yorkshire side. They got on the front foot, the hooker picked the ball up, and he looked really dangerous, and they started to gain a little bit of momentum with the ruck speed then in that set, but unfortunately for them, it's not the conditions to be putting that, they're playing the ball too close to the line.
And we picked Ryan Gray at half time in that game at Castleford, and he came out and destroyed it in the space of 15 minutes, didn't he? As Mustapha with another big carry gets 10 out. As Johnson waits at dummy half, shows to Holroyd to Smith. Smith goes, gets it away to Welsby. Welsby drops it on the ground. That's a knock on from Neo, and it's yet another error from Tessie Neo and another repeat set for England, 10 away from the line.
Yeah, I'm not sure the right play by Welsby. You know, he looked like the actual space had shortened really just to dribble the ball behind the centre. But do you know what? Kicking the ball in these conditions is not a bad ploy. The worst thing that happens is you turn the ball over a metre away from the try line. Like I said before, when in conditions like this, it's not who has the ball, it's where it is on the field, because errors will occur. England just need to be nice and composed now and stay down here. Lots of change of angles, try and go for a repeat set.
As McLelland then gets it to Welsby. Welsby with the step on Dearden. It's 4 seasons in a day. The sun's shining, but the rain's driving down here as Holroyd on the charge. Big run from Tom Holroyd. 3 away from the line as Johnson waits at dummy half. Penalty, definitely 2 for me. They're not going to.
The goal man's running on.
And 2 is the call.
Yeah. Do you know what? I kind of understand a little bit. You know, the England players are feeling good about themselves. They're feeling like they've got them in good field position, but in these conditions, you know, whether it's if it wasn't these conditions, in big games in Test matches, I'd take the points anyway. But yeah, 100% of these conditions, take the 2, reset.
So Harry Smith, 2 from 2 so far this afternoon, with the kick, and sticks the flags up here at the Sports Village, and England extend their lead to 14 points to 0 here, and now Australia 3 scores behind.
Yeah, you know, as I said before, with young lads in particular, know me coaching the under-19s this year, when emotions are high after they've scored try, normally there's an error from either side. The message from me now would be just run as hard as you can, play the ball, take your time playing the ball, kick the ball long.
Crichton's kick-off, very Pat Richard-esque, swirling and
I still have nightmares about Pat Richards' kick-offs. Oh God.
Ball's come out, and it's a knock-on, ruled against Tom Holroyd, and the Australians all come running in to celebrate, and the England lads give Tom Holroyd a pat on the back, and it'll be 1 minute defending now.
Do you know what? It's evident in the Super League. A lot of teams make errors after they score points, and it is because the emotional high that they got at the moment, they just need to calm themselves down. But in particular, young lads, and we know there's going to be an error normally 9 times out of 10 after they score points. And
we've seen the Australians do this previously on tour. They have loaded. Crichton's gone back to the far side as Dragicic then, who featured for Serbia under-19s earlier in the year. He's got some air miles at the moment. He's got it away. It's going to be held, says Marcus Griffiths. And it will be Dragicic to play it. It was Gray at dummy half. Gets it to Ratu Nanovo. As Gray waits at dummy half. To the left to Dearden. Here's Talau to New into the line. Bradman Best. He's had very few opportunities so far this afternoon as well.
He's had very little balls at this game.
As Australia then with Juan Compain, and Compain has gone over the line, and he's going to be held up, and he'll go back to the 10. As Gray waits at dummy half. Here's Franklin Pele on the charge. Franklin Pele for the line. He's stopped by 1, 2, 3, 4 England defenders. Gray at dummy half. Sticks a little kick in. Somebody needs to react. And Mustapha does. Shuffle dead, and it'll be a goal line dropout.
Very hard to defend when the 9 kicks the ball from acting out. In the modern day era, the fullback defends in the line. He's putting himself in the line to try and create 13 on 13 scenario. makes it very difficult when you've got a kicker that can kick the ball from dummy half. Lovely little kick there, and it's put first time ever it's put a little bit of pressure on England.
And England have just switched the big men as well. Oliver Wilson and Ethan Havard are back out there now. As Smith with the goal line dropouts give it a fair old thump, and that's gone over the head of Tessie Niu. And well, the wind's dropped, the sun is shining. Oh, Niu's come up with the error. First one surely against Niu, and it's going to be an England head and feed. The poor lad's having a nightmare, isn't he?
Do you know what? Yes, he is. He's having, unfortunately, unfortunately, won't be the first one that's had a bit of a nightmare at the back, but Harry Smith's just kicking. It's unbelievable. His kicks have been perfect, everyone. That one literally travelled nearly 60 metres. Like you said, I thought he were going into the headwind, but it must have stopped on that occasion. Managed to clear the whole Australian side.
So England will get this scrum. Corey Johnson just getting a few instructions from the trainer. 10 gone in this second half. 14-0 England lead here on the Our League Appers. Sam Walters takes it in, and then Walters has come up with the error. That was a big hit. And again, a little bit of afters. Sadly, nothing like 2002, or thankfully.
I'd like to get a bit of footage of that fight.
I'm sure it's knocking about somewhere.
And obviously I wasn't involved. I was as much as a spectator as you was.
Still words being said. And this is energy Australia don't need to be expending, isn't it? 14-0 down.
It's just, it all bodes well for England. They're just bringing him into a bit of an arm wrestle. They're making it scruffy every time Australia managed to gain the ball, to do something well. So England slow it down.
And just see a little bit of frustration in those Australian ranks. Ryan Gray just trying to get his point over to the referee. They've sneaked somebody out there in the back as well. It's Juan Compain with who's out there.
Actually, a really good shot by the Aussie. I think the Aussie number 11. He got his shoulder under the ball. Really got it. You know, when the ball's wet and slippery, that's where errors occur. When blokes make contact with the shoulder around the ball carrier.
Tony Adams put Tessie Niu out of his misery. He's replaced him, and Timano Alexander is out there now, which could see, I don't know, whether they're going to put Bradman Best to fullback and Timano Alexander into the centre. Will Sini go to fullback? We really don't know what's going to happen. Harry Newman and Tommy Talau were the two called out there. And we'll go back for a scrum. Corey Johnson just getting some attention from the trainer out the back as well.
And this is where this could get difficult for England, because if Corey Johnson goes off, they've got no recognised other hooker.
They've got no backs on the bench either, have they?
No. It'd make it a little bit, you'd have to turn one of your half-backs and play one half, turn one of your half-backs into a 9. What you'd have to do is you'd have to get somebody at ball playing forward, a Morgan Smithies, for example, a Shorrocks, just to play the dummy half and just pass the ball on and defend as they normally would.
As Gray from the base. Here is Timano Alexander, and if that got picked up on the mic, we do apologise. As Gray at dummy half. Here is Talau. Couple inside the England half has knocked it on as Gray at dummy half comes to the right hand side, and Dragosic as Gray at dummy half to Madden. Madden goes across the face to Dearden, and Dearden's wrapped up by Callum McLelland. Good read from the Leeds standoff. And Australia gone backwards as Gray at dummy half. Here is Franklin Pele, stood up to by Ethan Havard. He's got it away though to Dearden, and they've only made 10 metres on that set.
Yeah, they have. It's been a really aggressive set.
As Madden then on the last tackle goes high. Welsby waits, and Jack Welsby safe under the high ball. Is going to let Senior bring it back. That's Innis Senior.
Shorrocks in particular, then the left back rower for England, the Wigan back rower, he really led the line forward there, and that's why they struggled to make meters of the Aussies. Shorrocks got stuck into him, really got stuck into the Aussie forwards then.
Welsby gets into dummy half. Corey Johnson has gone off. Owen Trout is in out at the back.
Yeah, and it's like I said, they've had to make a forward. They put Shorrocks in. I didn't know if it was going to be Morgan or whether it was going to be Shorrocks, but they've had to do that. They've had to make one of the edge back rowers the 9.
They may have trained this way this week, we don't know, as Shorrocks at dummy half comes to the right hand side to Smith, and Smith with a bit of a gap. Alexander at fullback now instead of Tessie Newman. Oh, he's put the footwork on. Great footwork that from Star Toa, who's gone into fullback. He started
very impressed. I think he's been Australia's best player in the first half.
He started at fullback in the tour. He's got injured though, he's limping as Sini brings it back. And Australia 25 out, and they'll get a penalty as well now. First one of the half.
Now, unbelievable return. He absolutely skinned in his senior then. He just stood him up and took him down about a metre down the sideline. He has been Australia's best player in that first half, and probably the biggest danger man that England need to watch.
As Gray, Franklin Pellé's out of there now, as Jaden Tanner carrying the ball now is back out there. Still 14-0 England lead. It's Gray at dummy half, to the left to Dearden. As on the run around with Nanovo, and Dearden gets no change from that right edge England defence. There's Gray at dummy half, to the right to Juan Compain, and Compain goes for glory. Compain almost over the line, he's held inches short as Gray at dummy half, and penalty given. Back-to-back penalties for Australia then. He's played the ball, and the Australian player stepped back away into Ryan Gray, and England man's dived on it.
Yeah,
oh well, we'll see.
You find referees give them a 50-50 decisions generally go with the attack. I'm with you, I'm not sure it's the right call, but they generally do.
And Ratu Nanovas drops it. First tackle, and England have survived.
Yeah, they have survived. And once again, they go running up to the Australian pack, clapping and cheering.
It's all good fun. Don't forget the second test, Friday, 7:30 PM UK, 6:30 AM Saturday morning in New South Wales, 5:30 AM in Queensland, here on the Our League app. As England then will pack this scrum, and it's going to be senior. Just one of these sets you need to complete, and
Yes.
I remember when I was a kid we called it a downtown.
Downtown, yeah.
Yeah, just literally up the jumper for 4 or 5 tackles and put a boot on it as Newman with some footwork.
Lovely footwork by him.
Gets 10 short of halfway. He's held onto it. That's one each now.
Oh, he dropped that.
It's one each now.
Oh.
Shorrocks then at dummy half goes the right hand side to Morgan Smithies. As Shorrocks waits at dummy half to the left hand side to Smith, and Smith's going to go high. Star Toa waits and Toa fields, and it's a good chase from England. Smith leading the way again and turning the ball over in the right areas.
Yeah, and another decent keeper. Star Toa, he looks more comfortable in the high ball, and he's causing problems. He managed to get a quick play of the ball, which from an England perspective you don't want the first tackle. Bradman Best making the use of this. That's a little bit of momentum that Australia have got.
Crichton at dummy half picks up one-handed, only runs, gets the offload on the bounce to Ryan Gray. Dearden, here's Best again down that left hand side. Australia just inside the England half. There's Jalal Bazaz back out there now. Last tackle. Gray at dummy half, goes to the left hand side to Madden. It's going to go the low route, Jock Madden. Dearden, sorry, it's going to go over sideline, and England will take that all day.
England will take that because there's a momentum shift at the moment. Australia have got it, and England haven't got it. They're talking a little bit like when you're in that washing machine, when you're on the back foot, it's hard to win it back, and when you've got it, that momentum, it feels good. And I just think that was a really poor kick, really poor selection of kick by the Australian halfback. The England forwards were on the back foot, look to be tiring, and just put the ball in the touch, gives them a breather, gives them time to reset.
As England go down that short side with Cameron Scott, senior. Australia looking to force the error, muscle up in defence. Again, it's just another one of these downtown sets that England are looking for as the wind picks up a little bit here inside the Sports Village, as Shorrocks at dummy half gets it to Bradford's Oliver Wilson. As Shorrocks at dummy half, here is Smith, drops it off to Owen Trout. Poor big collision with Jaden Tanner. As Shorrocks at dummy half gets it to Smith, and Smith has put that out on the fall. Oh, and England have conceded field position.
And you know what? Although England, you want to complete your sets, you want to get in, you want to basically change the momentum of the game and just stay in the grind. What you can't have is what you're talking about downtown set is you can't have one out rugby. You can't just take drives. You can have the mindset that you're going to get to the end of your set, you're going to kick the ball, but you still have the same shape and plays around. You have movement around the ball, which will cause Australia problems. At the moment, it's just 2-1 out from England.
You still need your double runners, don't you, and stuff like that.
You just need your options. You need to create a little bit of momentum and play the ball speed, and that's what will tire the Australians out, not just the one out rugby.
As Madden to Dearden, here is Tor into the line, gets it to Bradman Best.
20 gone back.
21 minutes gone in this second half as Crichton waits at dummy half. Infield to Dearden. Here is Madden. Jock Madden looks to go up the middle and only runs into a white wall. As Gray at dummy half goes to the left to Dearden. Here is the man into the corner for Crichton, and Crichton has scored, and Australia are in. 62 minutes on the clock, first try of the second half. Great finish in that left-hand corner by Stephen Crichton. Star Toa with the money ball, and Australia finally on the board here at the Sports Village. It's England 14, Australia 4.
Yeah, they've been trying to play that player on numerous occasions this game. They just had the back row going to the line with the centre leading with the fullback out the back. And I think Star Toa's he's been, like I said before, he's been the best player from Australia. Lovely hands in these conditions to put the winger away. But England, their own worst enemy. When you're on the front foot, it's like a football team. When they park the bus, you make things worse. You know, you want to adopt the Barcelona attitude of actually the best way to defend is with your attack. You know, keep having options, keep having ball movement, and go down the other end. I think, hopefully, that's the message that's coming into England. Don't stop playing, because there's a long way to go in this game yet.
I was going to say what will be being said behind the post, and you've read my mind, as Jock Madden has the kicking duties for Australia.
And if I know we've got a left footer kicking the ball, but sometimes, you know, just a way to break the game up, put them out of the stride, maybe just kick the ball off a different way. Because at the moment they're kicking the ball off the same way, and Australia getting a bit of a routine. They're on the front foot, maybe just mix it up by going a different way. Hopefully put them out of the stride.
So Jock Madden off this left-hand touchline. To reduce the gap to 8 potentially. It's 10 at the moment. Here comes Madden. Madden's missed it with a little bit of help from the crowd, but England 14 points to 4 in front, and just we've seen Australia come out, especially that game at Castleford last week. They got one, then all of a sudden they got 3, and England need to be very wary of that, don't they?
Yeah, they did. It was a little bit of a juggernaut that we couldn't stop from a Yorkshire perspective. When they got a roll on, when they got the ruck speed right, you know, the hooker in particular, extremely dangerous and causes loads of problems. And yeah, that'll be a little bit of a worry from England. What they need is they need a really good set now. They need to tighten the line up, get some aggressive line speed, and try and limit the metres from Australia.
So Jack Welsby will get us back underway. Kicks deep. It's Dearden who fields, and it's going to be Jaden Tanner in the yellow boots who will get 15 away from the liners. Gray at dummy half. Here is Compain. No penalties, a must for England as well now. It's Gray at dummy half to the right hand side. Here is Ratuna Novo. Just had a little juggle. And he's 15 short of halfway. There's Gray at dummy half. Here is Jalal Bazaz. Good D from the two props working together, Havard and Wilson.
They're going to be extremely good Super League players at Havard and Wilson.
As Jaden Tanner with his second carry of the set, met by Shorrocks, and its last tackle, Australia on halfway, as Gray at dummy half to Madden, and Madden goes high. Oh, that's high. As Senior waits, and Senior's dropped it, and it's back, and here's a chance for Zach Sinney. Zach Sinney for the corner, flings it back in field to Madden. Madden gets it back, and he's given a turnover. He's ruled that in his senior hasn't touched it.
Even from an Englishman,
he's took the case off that.
Touched the ball.
Oh, that's a huge call in the context of this game.
That is massive. And you know what Australians now are doing to England what England did to Australia in the first half? They're
flying off the line.
They're getting stuck into England's face. They're struggling to get off their own line.
That's a big hit there from Talau. And the Australian parents and supporters in the crowd enjoying this. No marker, chance to jump for Shorrocks, and he does, and gets a valuable 5 or 6 upfield as Senior in at dummy half. Ryan Gray's in the middle of the ruck as Newman gets away from one. Harry Newman gets the offload to Welsby, and England have made halfway. Harry Newman's picked a knock up in the back of that as Shorrocks at dummy half, as Gray in the middle of the ruck. Ryan Gray's in the middle of the ruck, and Joe Shorrocks has pushed him over. How's that an Australian penalty?
Because the referee knew from everyone's reaction that he made a mistake 5 minutes before. What you normally find is somehow you manage to try and even it up the referees when they realise he made. Look, I'm not saying he hasn't. He has. I think he knew from everyone's reaction before, and I think whenever we were going to get an opportunity to give Australia the ball back, he would. And
Cameron Scott obviously asking the question, which he's as captain entitled to do.
And if we're being brutally honest, Australia probably deserve that, don't they? You know, Innis definitely dropped the ball on down there, so that's probably evened it up a little bit.
But surely the first defence is Ryan Gray in the middle of the ruck. He shouldn't be stood there in the first place.
Yeah, I agree. Look, by the letter of the law, you know, it's an Englishman's penalty, but
yeah, you're obviously not allowed. Yeah,
take the ball, take the line to your own hands.
So Madden then with the touch finder. It's given Australia a decent base camp again. Don't forget the second test Friday, 7:30 here on the Our League app from Emerald Headingley as Ratuna Nova takes it in. Gray at dummy half. To the left to Dearden. Here is Toa to Best. And Bradman Best trying to get on the outside of Cameron Scott but can't. As Crichton, the Australia try scorer at dummy half. Here is Toa again. Tries to go on his own. Good defence from Ethan Havard as Gray at dummy half. Australian players injured. A time off called by the official. Bit of cramp setting into both sides at the moment.
And Cameron Scott stayed down from the England. Someone needs to tell him it's an international game. You get back in the line until you get the ball back. That'll be my message from a coach. It's an international rugby. If you've broke your leg, you just get back in and defend, and when you get the ball back, then you can limp off. We're lucky there because we're a man down in that defensive line.
Star Tour looks to be okay. As Gray at dummy half to Bazaz. Here is Jaden Tanner. Tanner's lost that backwards as Gray pops it up to Nanovo. And Ratuna Novo going for the line. England 1, 2, 3, 4. Get him over the in goal. And he's been held up.
That's a dangerous play from England. He were held up in England's in goal. England decided rather than pushing back over the try line, let's pull him dead so we get the 20-metre tap. He nearly got the ball down. This is a dangerous play for England.
England player out the back injured as well. It's Smith who's cramping up this time. As Nanovo plays it, Gray tries the short side with Talau. Talau puts the kick in, too much on it, and England do get the ball back in a 7-tackle set.
Yeah, and England needed that. It's been all Australia the last sort of 15 minutes. England needed probably an outside back. It's a bit of a speedo set now, though, because the England forwards will be struggling.
Just over 10 minutes left here at the Sports Village. England 14, Australia 4. Matt Horton and Luke Robinson on the hour leg up this afternoon, as England maybe need to do something a bit different now. They've not spent much time in the Australian half this second half, but Oliver Wilson just about gets them there, as Corey Johnson's back out there now as well, and that just will give England that little bit more balance, won't it?
Yeah, I think that's a really good word, balance, a little bit of stability in the middle.
As Johnson at dummy half goes the short side for Owen Trout. Good run from Owen Trout. Sam Walters is the man who's gone off, and look who's in the middle of the ruck again. Ryan Gray, as Johnson gets it to McLelland, and McLelland gets away from one. Callum McLelland just hangs on. 12 out. As Johnson gets it to Harry Smith, and Smith goes for a crossfield kick. Newman comes, and Zach Sinney has been told to play on, and Zach Sinney, can he get into the in goal? No, he can't, and it's going to be a goal line dropout, and I think he had a foot inside the in goal.
Oh yeah, it was a tricky one, wasn't he? I think he just said he just caught.
He's ruled his jump from the field of play.
Yeah, he might have done it, to be fair. It was inches, wasn't it? Inches.
And we were blindsided of it, so, but I thought it was in the in goal. But England, chance to build some pressure, do things a little bit differently.
Yeah, hopefully that's a momentum shift there, from the England side. Calm down here now, be nice and patient with the ball, but do you know what? Don't just take one up carries, actually throw something at the Australians. You can still be calm and composed by having option runners.
And the 30 out, it was Ethan Havard with that first carry, as Johnson at dummy half. Here is Wilson again, as Johnson waits at dummy half. Goes to that right hand side to McLelland. Here's Welsby into the line to Cameron Scott. Down that right hand side, the England captain. As Johnson waits at dummy half. Johnson goes on his own. Quick hands, oh, and Senior's dropped it, and it's gone dead. And Lewis Senior, oh, so near yet so far. Great hands down that short side though, wasn't it?
Beautiful hands. They just took a short side. They saw the numbers. It was lovely deception, lovely hands, and unfortunately Louis just, whether it was a concentration thing or not, I'm not sure if he expected the ball, but big play in the game.
Could be a big moment of the match, that, as Madden at dummy half gets it to Tamano Alexander. And Alexander's got out of one, and it's a big strong carry from the Australian replacement, as Gray at dummy half to the right to Madden. Here is Startoa back up the middle, and they're just on the 20-metre line, as Gray at dummy half to Jaden Tanner. Tanner gets it to Alec.
England's gone. Wilson and Havard, they're gone. They're going to run at him.
Gray gets it to Tanner. Here is Bazaz. Bazaz gets it out, and Australia are in. It is Tamano Alexander who's got in. 73 minutes on the clock, and Tamano Alexander gets in for Australia. Just got on too much of a roll there, did the green and gold, didn't they? And the England defence just couldn't cope.
Oh, that's an 8-point swing, If Louis concentrates, it's an easy take for him. Somebody of his calibre playing at this level needs to catch that ball and score the try. And Australians, as they always do, they literally just turn from defence into attack in a moment. Do you know what that was? England are making a change, and they're making two changes actually. Ollie Wilson and Havard, the two middle forwards who were exceptionally good players, they were exhausted in that set. They couldn't get through, and the Australians very cleverly picked it. They kept doing inside block plays, testing England's middle, and eventually they wore them down.
We can see Tom Holroyd. He's going to get the last 6 or 7 minutes here at the Sports Village. Hang on to your hats, this is going to be some finish here on the Our League app. Big kick now for Jock Madden. It's either going to be a 6 or 4 point ball game in these last few moments. Here is Madden then with this conversion attempt. We've got a great view of it from our position here at the Sports Village as Madden with the kicks, missed it, pushed it across the face of the post. 6 or so minutes left here at the Sports Village. England lead by 14 points to 8. It's just proved how crucial that penalty was from Harry Smith 6 minutes into that second half, and it also brings back that drop goal now, doesn't it?
It does. Look, it's going to be a very entertaining finish. Australia have got all the momentum. England need to obviously look. There's still time in this game. They can't go into the shells. They need to obviously attack with the defence here. Have a really big set.
As Welsby gets England underway, as kick off fielded, and it's not a bad chase, and Australia will start 10 away from their own line as Dearden at dummy half gets it to Bazaz. Slow play the ball. England got quickly into the Australian faces there as Ryan Gray waits at dummy half to Madden. Oh, it's been dropped by Talau, and England will get the head and feed, and Tommy Talau not happy with the shot he got after he dropped the ball. But now Australia are wasting their own time, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes, they are. And just as I said before, how many young kids make errors after they score points? It's a fact. Watch Super League every Friday night. On a Saturday, they make errors very, very often after they score points. But young lads in particular, and that's a big play there for England, especially the time, with how many would you say? 5 minutes to go.
4 minutes. We'll just check with Terry. On a rolling clock though on our screen at the moment, so 4 minutes plus whatever.
England need to think about how they finish the set. They want to throw some options, don't just take drives.
Here is Shorrocks.
Or you'll just get killed.
He's lost it. Oh, he's lost it. And now here come the Australians, but wasting their own time again. Why do Australia need to do this? Why, rather than screaming in Joe Shorrock's face, they need to be packing a scrum and get the clock stopped.
Yeah, don't tell them.
I'm not telling them. They can't hear me from here. They're wasting their own time, and Marcus Griffiths, the referee, hasn't stopped the clock. If they want to mess about and waste their own time, they can do.
Their coach killers them, aren't they?
Yeah.
They just turn the ball over. You're thinking about, like play the set out, like camp down here, and then obviously you turn the ball over the very first tackle. Yeah, they are coach killers.
Harry Newman just trying to stretch his legs out in that centre position there. A few of these England players probably not got a full game in them, to be fair, as Gray goes from dummy half and gets nowhere. So Australia 80 metres to go. Here's Dragosic. It's a good win. On his back will slow things down as Gray waits at dummy half. Comes this left hand side to Alexander. Harry Smith, what a hit.
He's a little player, isn't he? I just love little blokes taking big blokes on.
Here's Jalal Bazaz, and England more than aware it's another defensive win. Again, it should be a slow play of the ball. No penalties is the big thing from an England point of view now, as Dearden to that left hand side goes short to Joanne Compain. Last tackle as Gray waits at dummy half. Here is Dearden, and Dearden gets the kick away. Welsby waits, and Welsby fields and looks to return with interest, and England are 20 short to halfway, and Bazaz is just being distracted in backfield. 2 minutes left. The senior
still pushing England. You still need close support. The more close support you have, the more the further downfield they'll turn the ball over.
Leigh Sports Village, 1,048. 1,048. Thank you very much for your support today.
1,048 here, and referee's giving play on as Holroyd takes it in. Jack Welsby just struggling a little bit in back play now. It's been a couple of head scratches today, hasn't there? A couple of head scratches, decision-wise.
Yes, a couple. From both sides, to be fair, I think.
As Smith goes high, thought he was just going to drill it off the island, and bit of competition, and it's well taken by Stafford Toa. And Australia, referee's looking at his watch. It's always a good sign.
Yeah, they've got one more set of England, they've defended one more set.
As Sini takes it in. Can England hang on for the win as Gray gets it to Dearden, and Dearden wrapped up by Holroyd. As Gray at dummy half goes to that left-hand side to Trout. Joe Shorrocks shoots from the line.
Now's not the time to be putting big shots on.
We're into added time.
Hold your line.
As Toa looks to go up the middle, last tackle. This is it. Now or never for the Australians. Here is Madden, goes for a little chip over the top. Here's Jock Madden. Oh, and that's great cover. Not quite sure who's got there.
It was
it's Owen Trout. The senior now takes it in. No errors for England. As Shorrocks goes from dummy half. Again, England can't be too negative here, can they? It's across the chest from Talau, and Australia firing it up on defence. Here is Senior. Told to go forward, gets away from the first couple. It's not a bad run, that. From Senior, as Johnson at dummy half gets it to Harry Smith. He's going to kick England out of trouble. As Toa waits, that's a 40-20. That's a 40-20 for England. Great kick from Harry Smith, and England are going to get the ball back. And Harry Newman just telling everybody to calm down.
Oh, Australia's outside backs, they had such big raps before the game. I think that's been the difference.
Harry Newman's done. He's absolutely trying to get the attention of the trainer. Here is Morgan Smithies. Here is Johnson at dummy half. Holroyd on the charge. Holroyd tries to spin away, and he's wrapped up. As Johnson waits at dummy half, deep in added time here. As Owen Trout now. Owen Trout goes, and Trout's lost it, and the knock-on given, and there's time for this scrum.
Why wouldn't you work towards the sticks and put 1 point over? I think that's what they're arguing at. There's a few.
Do you know, there was a case there, Luke, from the tap, straight back to Callum, McLelland or Harry Smith, get the 1 point over and get the ball back.
Yeah, you know,
because you're 10 metres away, you can control your restart, get it all set up. What have this Australian Schoolboys side got up the sleeve? They're probably only going to get a draw at best, as Dearden gets it to Madden. Madden to Crichton. No danger. Crichton's away from 1-2. Back on the inside to Madden. Madden for Ryan Gray. Ball's on the ground. Who's got it? England have got it. And that is it. England have won this first test by 14 points to 8 here at the Sports Village. Fantastic afternoon for that England Academy side. 12-0 up at half-time. Harry Newman and Harry Smith with the first half tries. They edged away to 14-0. There's a little bit of a afters going on there. We'll leave them to it, but Smith's penalty 6 minutes into the half just pushed England out to 14-0, but you can never write this Australian side off. Stephen Crichton in at the left-hand corner, pulled one back. Timana Alexander 7 minutes from time. Jock Madden unable to convert either try. It was hair and scaring for that last 10 minutes, but it's certainly been a game of two halves, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. England the dominant force in the first half. Control field position kicked. You know, Harry Smith kicked the ball beautifully, and then it sort of flipped on its head in the second half. Australia, the more dominant side, really controlling the ruck speed. They had all momentum with the ball defensively, turned the ball over in better positions and forced a lot of errors out of England. England you know, looking back, went into the shells a little bit, went one out, which probably made things worse for him. And you know what, there's been a couple of tough calls for the Australians today that they will be scratching their head out on the video review afterwards. But you know, for them England boys, one of my earliest memories of professional sport is beating the Australians for, you know, in 2002. What an amazing feeling! And the shirt still holds, you know, his frame still holds his pride in it, you know, on the wall at home. It's great feeling. Well done, the England boys.
Your man of the match this afternoon, Robbo?
100% Harry Smith. Without a shadow of a doubt, I thought he was brilliant. He kicked the ball superbly. He controlled the game, but not only that, for a little man, he was aggressive in his D.
And it all sets it up nicely for the second test at Emerald Headingley on Friday night. There's been no love lost today. There's been plenty of running in, plenty of words, plenty of pats on the head. If you've got the chance to get to Leeds on Friday night, it'll be the best fiver you spend all week, won't it?
Yeah, especially for a fiver. Get down and watch, because as the game finished, then they were still scrapping over the final whistle. So it had everything, you know. England played some good stuff, Australia did, and yeah, all bodes well for a very entertaining game next week.
Robbo, thanks for your company here at Leigh Sports Village this afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the Our League app. We will be back at Emerald Headingley on Friday night just before 7:30 for the second test between England Academy and the Australian Schoolboys. Thanks for joining us here in Leeds this afternoon. We will see you in Leeds on Friday night.
All right. They know it's not much. I've got him.